Acharda, co-public target, ta farta hort gulir, and shot Fanona in you Gortaglanna. We remember this evening four on Ireland Republicans, Jeremiah Lyons, Paddy Welsh, Paddy Dalton, and Condie, captured just down the road here, tortured and beaten by the Black and Tans in the back of a lorry, and they were eventually brought back up here to this spot to be shot. This evening we recognise the Irish people's right in the use of controlled, disciplined force in defence of Ireland's national independence. A right inherent to the Irish people, just as it is to any other nation in defence of their national territories, from imperialist aggression and occupation. So we will now proceed with the laying of the wreaths. For the men and women that gave their lives for Irish freedom, and O'Connell and Anthony Conway to lay the first wreath, please.
Oh, oh.
We now call on Natalie on behalf of Republican Sinn Féin. We will say a decade of the rosary there. Was John Mangan say the decade of the rosary?
No problem, if you wish it. Chada, Queemish, the Kayla, as bear and those girls come on. Now I'm going to box the spring there. On our town, I'm going to have time because I'm going to have to hold down my dental now. But do not get a whole face, like you go who shares your comment.
This is an honour now and a privilege for me to introduce this next man to give the oration. Kind to our dear public August Éireann, please welcome Eamon O'Brien.
There was Welsh and Lyons and Dalton boys. They were young and in their prime. They rambled to that lonely spot where the Black and Tans did hide. The Republican board they did uphold throughout all on the moor, and side by side they fought and died in the valley of Knockanoe. The ballad composed by Brian McMahon, which helped to keep the memory of these brave men alive down through the years, state that they fought and died in the valley of Knockanoe. Sadly, these men had no chance to fight, that they were unarmed, and when RIC and Tans surprised and surrounded them, they were captured at the bridge and taken to the quarry and beaten with the rifle butts, before they were brought in here and murdered by this ancient ring fort on the 12th of May 1921. In the aftermath of these killings, the body of the three men were taken to Listowel and then on to Ballymullen, Tralee. It was left to the brave women of Cumbernaman from Listowel and nearby districts to travel to Tralee Barracks to demand the remains. The sight of their dead comrades, beaten and shot, lying on top of a pile of turf, would not have been an easy sight for the Cumbernaman women. They engaged a local undertaker to come with coffins and then took the coffins draped in tricolours on the train to Listowel. From there they were taken to Atay, Dua and Ballydonohoe by their comrades and families and buried with dignity. Ironically, 5 years prior to that awful day, on the 12th of May 1916, James Connolly and Sean McDiarmid were executed in Dublin, and on the 12th of May 1981, one of Ireland's greatest guerrilla freedom fighters, Francis Hughes from Derry, died on hunger strike in the H blocks of Longkesh. All against the same enemy for the same cause. And that was the way of Wolfe Tone, it was the way of Mitchell, it was the way of the Fenians, the men of Easter Week, the men and women of 1919 and 1921. And the men who stopped the stampede of an Irish nation in 1923. It was the way of the men of the 40s who suffered internment under Féin. It was the way of Sean South and Fergal Handon in 56, of Michael Gowan in 74, Frank Stagg in 76, of Bobby Sands and his comrades in 1981. The struggle goes on and will continue until the last vestige of British imperialism has left our shores. The Irish nation has a distinctive culture, with roots stretching back more than 1,500 years. This Irish nation has long endured invasion and colonisation by a more powerful neighbour for more than 800 years, and the Irish people have heroically resisted this aggression, and each generation handed on the torch of liberty to the next. Irish republicanism has its roots in the desire for separation from England and the right of the Irish people to the ownership and control of their own country. In the Great Rising of 1798, large numbers of Protestants, Catholics and dissenters fought side by side as united Irishmen to break the connection with England and establish a republic. That effort to achieve freedom and equality was brutally suppressed, and the Act of Union creating the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland was enacted in 1800. Throughout the 19th century, it was a deliberate policy of English government to cultivate loyalty to the Crown, as well as bigotry and anarchism among the mass of the Protestant people. The Unionists of Ulster, the 9 counties of Ulster, were allowed to exercise a veto over the demand of the majority of Irish people for Home Rule and later for an Irish Republic. The Irish Republic, proclaimed in arms in 1916, was endorsed by a solid majority vote of the Irish people. In 1918, and the first Dáil Éireann, embracing all 32 counties, was established in 1919. England's response was to declare the Irish Parliament illegal and to unleash forces of terror on the Irish people and their institutions. The Republic guaranteed religious and civil liberty, equal rights and equal opportunities to all citizens, cherishing all the children of the nation equally, oblivious of the differences carefully fostered by an alien government which had divided a minority from the majority in the past. Then came the execution of our Irish leaders, thus leading into the war for independence of our country. We had our freedom, and then came the big betrayal, established by England of a free state parliament controlling 26 counties, with the northern state comprising 6 counties to be under English control. The Irish men who accepted Britain's refusal to recognise the Irish state and abandon their comrades in the 6 counties were given guns and artillery to kill Irishmen who remained faithful to the Irish Republic. Then we had a second reign of terror with the Free State soldiers running amok in the countryside, murdering and executing their former comrades. The brutality and imprisonment of Republicans, including internment, has continued on in the 50s and 70s in the 6 and 26 counties. The people of Ireland on the streets of Derry on Bloody Sunday marching for one man, one vote, 140 years following Catholic emancipation. They were answered with English bullets. 14 of our people died in consequence. Croppy lie down, the death of combatants and the slaughter of the innocent continued for many years, culminating in the hunger strikes of 1980 and 1981 and the death of 10 brave men. The move towards politics, the split in the Republican movement and the parliaments in Dublin and Belfast, still the essence of the Irish struggle remains, and still England holds firm. They have the bullets, they have every ounce and still have our country. It is time for people throughout Ireland to wake up and fight against these policies. In Éire Nua, Republican Sinn Féin proposes a new Ireland advocating 4 provisional assemblies, where local problems can be dealt with locally and not be ignored by central government, which in the main ignores many of the urban problems and most of the problems of rural Ireland. Republicans and other interest parties should endeavour to cooperate on a consultative assembly for discussion on the Ireland we want. We in Sinn Féin Public place the 4-province federal solution of Éire Nua on the table for discussion and debate. As far back as the 1970s, Lilas entertained this concept in the eventuality of a British withdrawal. Only a new Ireland, representative of all the people of Ireland, and coming together to decide on their future destiny, can bring peace and justice to all.
Just before we finish with the round of Féin, I would like to say that I want to wish well to a great comrade who would and the law of ours be here tonight, and that is Dan Broder, who is in respite care in Killarney for the last fortnight. He would have been here on the law of averages. Anyway, Sinn will. Sinn Fianna fall at Féin Geherin Bwyn da slw Hortin the Rowny Coin Fe foil Vesser Shanty Roshin Shun Fasta Niafon Fentirana Fentroil and up le hems of the boil le piana goil combosh no sail le gun iskriak fell up noble air Sharif Connie around the beam Gurmina Wagon.
Recorded, that concludes our commemoration for 2023. We made a rash o rish on Archa on Gleansha Cone Cone Day. Slán agus Bennett a good goléir in public the boot.